everyone, my name is Miss Smith. Welcome to Story Time today. We are going to read a book called Gilberto and the Wind. Can you read that? Gilberto and the Wind. You got it. It's a story about a little boy who loves to go outside and play with the wind. And sometimes the wind is nice, sometimes the wind is naughty, but they always have adventures together. Okay, before we read about Gilberto, I want to make sure that you know about the letter K. Will you say letter K 3 times? Letter K, letter K, letter K. Nice job. Letter K is a consonant, and when we make the letter K's sound, we have to keep our mouth open, and we're not going to use our voice. We're just going to blow the air out through our mouth and make kind of a sharp sound near the front of our teeth like this. Just listen. K, k, k. Can you do it? K, k, k. Nice job. The sign language for letter K looks like this. You take 2 fingers, keep them apart, put your thumb in the middle, and that's called letter K. Will you say it? Letter K. Nice job. Can we say the K sound 3 times but make it kind of sharp, like k, k, k? Will you see if you can do that? Ready? K, k, k. Nice job. Okay, so let's read about Gilberto and the wind. Now you might be looking at this and saying, wait a minute, Miss Smith, if we're learning about the letter K, there's nothing on the cover that starts with letter K. That's true, but you'll see maybe in the middle of the book that Gilberto likes to fly a kite in the wind. Did you hear it? He likes to fly a kite. Yeah. So when we get to that page, if you remember, you can raise your hand and I'll say, oh, you found it. You found the kite. He says, I am Gilberto, and this is the story of me and the wind. And anytime he talks about the wind is going to be kind of white. And I just realized, look what he's holding. He's holding the kite. Yeah, he's holding the kite. He says, I hear wind whispering at the door. You, he whispers. You. Can you do it like the wind? Ready? You. Good. So I get my balloon and I run out to play. Thumbs up if you would like to play with a balloon outside in the wind. Some kids say yes, some kids maybe say no. I don't want it to blow away. At first, wind is gentle and just floats my balloon around in the air. Boing, boing, boing. But then, with a jerk, he grabs it away and carries it up to the top of a tree. Oh no. Can you see the balloon stuck in the tree? Wind! Oh, wind, I say, blow it back to me, please. Can you say please like he did? Ready? Please. But he won't. He just laughs and whispers, you. Can you do it? You. Yeah. Wind loves to play with the wash on the line. So what happens is when the family washes their clothes, they hang the clothes out to dry in the wind. They put little clips at the top of the clothes called clothespins, and they hang it out to dry in the wind. Wind loves to play with the wash on the line. He blows the pillow slips. Pillow slips mean the covers that go over the top of your pillows. He blows the pillow slips into balloons and shakes the sheets and twists the apron strings. And he pulls out all the clothespins that he can. Remember, the clothespins are the hooks that keep the clothing on the line. Wind is pulling them off. Then he tries on the clothes, though he knows they're too small. And that's silly because can the wind really try on clothes? No, but the little boy thinks it looks like the wind is trying on the clothes when the wind blows through them. And Wind loves umbrellas. Once when I took one out in the rain, he tried to take it away from me. And when he couldn't, he broke it. Oh, I don't know if you've ever seen that, but sometimes when you take an umbrella out in the rain, it will be curved like it's supposed to unless the wind is blowing too hard, and then it snaps and it goes whoop the other way. Oh dear. The wind broke his umbrella. If the gate in the pasture is left unlatched, that means if the gate is left open, Wind plays with that too. He opens it up, then bangs it shut, making it squeak and cry. Squeak shut, squeak shut. Can you do that like I did? Ready? Squeak shut, squeak shut. You got it. Wind, oh wind, I say. I wonder if you could do it like Gilberto, like you're kind of upset, and say, wind, oh wind. Ready? Wind, oh wind. Good. I say, and I go and climb on. Give me a ride. So see, Gilberto climbs on the fence. He's trying to see if the wind will blow the gate open and shut again. But with me on it, the gate is too heavy. Wind can't move it at all. Oh, too bad. That would have been a fun ride. When the grass is tall in the meadow, Wind and I like to race. Wind runs ahead, then comes back and starts over. But he always wins because he just runs over the top of the grass. And I have to run through it and touch the ground with my feet. Of course, Wind is faster than the boy. He just runs over the top of the grass. Whoosh. Can you do that? Whoosh. When the big boys on the hill have kites to fly, did you hear it? When they have kites to fly, Wind helps them out. Wind carries their kites way up to the sky and all around. Wow, the big boys really are flying their kites everywhere. But when I have a kite, Wind won't fly it at all. He just drops it. Wind, oh Wind, I say. Do you remember how to do it? Ready? Wind, oh Wind. I don't like you today. Can you pretend you're kind of upset and pouting and say, I don't like you today. Ready? I don't like you today. Good. Oh, let's see about some good things Wind does though. When the apples are ripe in the fall, I run with Wind to the pasture and wait under the tree. And Wind always blows one down for me. You can see he's eating that apple. Maybe Wind blew it down just for him. And when I have a boat with a paper sail, Wind comes and sails it for me, just as he sails big sailboats for sailors on the sea. See, it started at the back of the pond and Wind sailed it forward. And when I have a pinwheel, pause. A pinwheel is this toy right here. It has 4 pieces that stick out in different directions, and when the wind comes, the pinwheel blows and blows and blows around and around and around in a circle. And when I have a pinwheel, Wind comes and plays too. First I blow it myself to show him how. Will you pretend you have a pinwheel and do that? Ready? And pretend the spokes are turning and turning and turning. Good. Then I hold it out or hold it up, and Wind blows it for me. And when he blows it, he turns it so fast that it whistles and sings, and all I can see is a blur. Whoa. Will you pretend the wind is blowing it so fast that it's a blur and go whoosh, like that? Ready? Whoosh. Stop. Good. Wind likes my soap bubbles best of all. He can't make the bubbles, I have to do that. But he carries them way up into the air for the sun to color. Because when the bubbles float into the air and the sun lands on the bubbles, they have a very faint rainbow glimmer. They're beautiful. Then he blows some back and makes me laugh when they burst in my eyes or on the back of my hand. Oh, this is the page where it must have burst in his eye because he's rubbing his eyes going, Wind, you popped it in my eye. Can you say that? Ready? Wind, you popped it in my eye. When the leaves have fallen off the trees, I like to sweep them into a pile. But then wind comes along, and just to show that he can sweep without a broom, wind scatters the leaves all about again. And he blows the dirt in my face. Oh no, he's having to cover his eyes because the wind is blowing dirt everywhere. Sometimes wind is so strong he starts breaking the trees and knocking down fences. Then I'm afraid. I run in the house and lock the door. But can you see wind is still there behind the door? And when wind comes howling after me and tries to squeeze in through the keyhole, I tell him, no. Can you pretend the wind is trying to get through your door and say, no, wind? Ready? No, wind. You got it. But then comes a day when wind is all tired out. Wind, I whisper, oh, wind. Can you say like he did? Wind, oh, wind. Ready? Wind, oh, wind. Good. Where are you? Answers wind. Can you pretend you're the wind and you're answering by saying shh, shh, shh? Ready? Shh, shh, shh. Good. And he stirs one dry leaf to show where he is. So I lie down beside him and we both go to sleep under the willow tree. Oh my goodness, Gilberto has a lot of adventures with the wind. And I just want to take one vote. I want you to think if you could either play with bubbles in the wind and see the bubbles floating around, catching the sunlight, making little rainbows, or if you could fly a kite in the wind, which would you rather do? Would you rather do bubbles or the kite? But you can only vote once. Raise your hand if you would rather do the bubbles. Okay, raise your hand if you'd rather do the kite. Okay, some kids say they'd like to see the bubbles blow around. Other kids say fly a kite. Okay, nice job. See if you still remember letter K. Show me what it looks like. Good. 2 fingers up, thumb in the middle, and say letter K. Ready? Letter K. You got it. And this time, can we pretend our K is a kite and it's flying higher and higher into the air like k, 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 k. Ready? Nice job. Okay, thanks for listening. See you next time.